$70 doesn't buy you cruelty.
Did you read the title? Did it say something like your $70 doesn't buy you cruelty? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. The fact that you bought a game that you didn't like doesn't give you the right to be cruel or unkind to the people that developed that game. Now, I'm going to be clear about
20 seconds in, and we already have an opinion. That is the equivalent of hot, wet, leaking garbage. If I buy something for $70 or however many dollars, are you telling me I have no right to critique it? No right to say what I think is wrong with it? And by the way, that's not even the worst argument here. The worst argument is he's saying that I, the consumer, can't buy a thing and critique it for whatever reason that I want, honestly. Because we know that he's just obfuscating, that he's just saying, oh, developers or whatever. But these same developers at the same time can demonize me for having the wrong political opinions? That doesn't sound fair in the slightest.
something. I'm not saying that you have to like the thing you bought. I'm not saying even that
You're literally saying, be positive about it or shut up.
Aren't allowed to complain about the thing you bought. You can have whatever opinion that you feel like towards a game, even if that opinion...
But not this one. Is this guy insane?
Opinion is stupid and wrong. You are entitled to that opinion, and to some degree, you're entitled to express that opinion to the corporation, to the video.
This guy is definitely friends with Dave Jaffe.
Video game studio that created this game that you bought. You paid 70 of your own dollars for this game, and it disappointed you, and you're angry about that. That is fine. You are entitled to be angry about it. And you're entitled to express that anger in certain channels. If you are mad at that Ubisoft game, be mad at Ubisoft. Express your anger to Ubisoft or to the studio that made the game. But
is he gonna say, but not to the developers? I'm sorry, what the hell is Ubisoft if not the developers? Like, what is the studio if not the developers?
You cross a line when you start being cruel about it. So why am I saying you don't get to be cruel because you spent $70? Let's walk through it.
Okay.
1, you shouldn't be cruel at all. What are you doing? It's a video game. You don't need to go out of your way to cause harm to other people because of a video game that you...
Yeah, the people who took the thing that you like, subverted it into something you hate for literally no reason but to appease their own fucking frail egos. Ignore them! It's just a thing! This is the same as saying, oh, that guy who killed your dog? What's the big deal? It's just an animal. What the hell is this? This is one of those people who comments about Frieren being fascist because killing demons is bad. And their argument is, it could have been me. Oh, wow.
Don't like. Again, I'm not saying you're not allowed to be angry about it. I'm not saying you don't get to express your dissatisfaction with the content of the game that you're not enjoying. But when you climb into someone's personal social media and start actively attacking that...
It's called social media. AKA, it can't be private. It's social media, open to everyone. Or or are you saying these people have the ability to just talk shit about anything they want and face no repercussions?
That person. When you celebrate layoffs at a studio because the game that you don't like didn't do that well.
Yes! Because it got subverted. Chances are, we're talking about modern times, right? Chances are that game got subverted by some woke lunatics who cared more about messaging and political pandering than actually making games. Yeah, of course I'm gonna herald their firing. Of course I'm gonna be happy about it. They absolutely have no right to be in the industry in the first place.
You're crossing a line into being cruel. And fundamentally, you should have more grace for other human beings.
But those human beings shouldn't have grace for you. Got it.
But if you're not buying that, let's go on to point 2. You don't know what caused the results that you don't like. Let's go through an example. Let's say that you don't.
How about Avowed, where the art director who fucked up the aesthetics of this game. By the way, Avowed is nothing currently like the trailer that we saw for it in the first place. The trailer was dark, gritty, Dark Souls-esque, and what we got was, well, rainbow diarrhea, effectively. And this person literally said he wants to pound the chuds and ruin the game so the chuds can't enjoy it.
Like the line delivery on a piece of dialogue. Is that the fault of the voice actor?
Yes.
It might be, but it could be a lot of other things too.
Now, if I don't like how a line sounds, that is definitely, without question, the fault of that person.
Might be the fault of the person who was directing that voice actor. Maybe they were given very specific instructions to deliver the line in this particular way. Maybe the writer who wrote that line wanted it delivered in this particular way, and the stage direction specified this particular line delivery. Maybe the recording equipment at the voice studio went down, and the only take they managed to get was this first one that was done just to set the tone, and they were just.
Maybe a meteor was gonna fall on your head in the next 5 seconds, so you only could think for 5 seconds. What the fuck is this?
Kind of out of time and stuck with it. So if you go and you start attacking the voice actor for a line delivery you don't like, it might not be them at all. It might be something else.
No one's attacking the voice actors, okay? No one's attacking random people in the games industry. All the people who got attacked in the games industry were literally people who fucking wrote tweets like, haha, fuck the chuds. We're gonna ruin your game. We're gonna make it gay. And this guy's telling me I'm not supposed to interact with that? I'm sorry, but I'm kind of literally being called out here at the moment, so I'm gonna interact.
Indeed, it might not be the line delivery at all. Maybe the problem was the writing. So should you go attack the writer? Well, no, because why was the line written in this way? Was it written this way because the writer?
Okay, at this point, we're gonna get to the that the person the person who is at fault for dialogue sounding bad is the paper printing company that didn't order ink in time. Shut up.
Had a specific thing they were trying to say. Maybe it was written this way because there was incredibly tight time pressures due to other externalities on their time. Maybe the direction of the game changed radically 3 months ago, and they had to rewrite this entire character in just 3 months. And you're just getting the first draft of that writing. Maybe the lead writer wanted this.
Now he's just saying, hey, if a game is shit, you just gobble it up. Okay, this guy's not advocating for slop. This guy's literally now advocating for you eating shit.
Character to be in a specific way, and it constrained what the writer was able to do while they were writing this character. Maybe the creative director on the project had specific goals that they had in mind, and they were pushing the writing in a particular way or restricting how much leeway the writers had in order to express their vision on what the game was able to do or be. Maybe the executive producer, all of these people reporting up into the executive producer, decided that this game should be different in tone and was pushing the game direction in a different way. Or maybe the
okay, more excuses. More excuses.
Leadership of this project changed 6 times and the direction changed 6 times, and you're getting little bits of writing from each of these different directions, and there was never adequate time to step back and rewrite it. Maybe the...
Okay, this point is like, this guy's just now being a retard. He's trying to be retarded on purpose at this point, because he's just milling the same thing. It's no one's fault ever because there's someone else to blame. And all of his points are stupid because there's always someone to blame in the studio that makes the game. So you can always blame the studio. He's effectively saying, "Oh, don't blame the artist for shitty art. Maybe you can blame someone else also." What a great point.
CEO of the entire company really wanted his guy mandated said some of them are incredibly realistic, some of them not so realistic, but I've seen things that look an awful lot like all of the things I just said. So when you decided to personally attack that one specific person on social media, how certain are you that it was their fault?
Extremely. Almost 100% certain, in fact. Because typically the only people who ever get attacked are the people who are attacking you first.
That they are responsible for that thing that you don't like. And I'm going to tell you right now, you shouldn't be certain because you don't know exactly what was going on within the project. You don't know the exact circumstances that resulted in that thing you didn't like. Even people who were on the project aren't always going to be absolutely certain on who is responsible for something being exactly a particular way. These projects have hundreds of people on them. Content moves around between multiple people. Unless I am the person who is actually responsible for something being a certain way, that chain of custody isn't always going to be super obvious to me. And all of this isn't to say that you aren't allowed to have your own opinions, to not like the things you don't like. It's specifically to point out that you being angry at a specific person, you attacking.
Okay, I honestly don't even. I don't honestly even know what this guy is on about now. He's just like, oh, attacking someone bad, but how are you attacking? Does he even know? I mean, his old timer maybe a little bit of that Al Kaiser shit. What's it called? What's the thing called where you forget stuff? Don't know. Maybe that's a problem.
A specific person is often misdirected. If you feel like you're just not getting the satisfaction from yelling at the corporate Twitter channel or yelling at the studio
Who the hell yells at the corporate Twitter channel?
Directly, if you feel like you need to focus it down onto an actual human being, I mean, that's really sad. I'm sorry. That's very sad. And hopefully
you having standards is sad. Yeah, true.
You can grow beyond that. But I will give you a couple of outlets. If you need to complain at a human being, I'm going to say you don't get to go lower than the first person in the credits. You can go higher than that, but no lower than that. The first person in the credits is the person who was, theoretically at least, in charge of the project.
Okay, so now he's just telling you to attack blindly the director of the game, which is almost fair, honestly. But, I mean, he's just literally advocating for us blindly attacking someone even if we don't know what they did. That's great. That's great.
They are the person where at least some of the responsibility is going to lie. Now, did they have full control over what was going on in the project? No, because you could still have the CEO of the company forcing them to use his stupid nephew as a script consultant. But at the very least, they were in charge of the project for a somewhat significant.
That's very specific, by the way, not gonna lie.
Significant percentage of the time. So if you are mad about Anthem and we look at the credits, no shit, that's me. But yeah, if you feel like you need to yell at somebody for.
So he is Mark Darach. Oh yeah, we know that from the name. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, so Anthem was shit. We know it was shit. We know that from everything that we know the leadership was literally clueless idiots. And here we have this guy who back pedals and then forward pedals 15 times about what the hell is good and what the hell is bad. No wonder Anthem sucked. I mean, what the hell are you? He's probably, this is how your Monday starts. Okay, team, we're gonna be working on the end of the game. We haven't started making the game. No, wait, the middle. And then midway through the day, it's the beginning, and then it's the end again. Like, this guy seems honestly badly mentally dead.
Or the way that Anthem is, it's much better to be yelling at someone like me, who was theoretically in charge of the project, or at least in charge of the project for some of the development time, than yelling at someone who was working on the combat or the level design or whatever. Because again, you don't know exactly what their reality was. When I was an executive producer, I got paid pretty well. And to some...
This is why there are no evil choices in RPGs anymore. Because of people like him.
Degree, from my perspective, some of that compensation was to act as a lightning rod for this negative discourse. It's one of the reasons why I think it is an executive producer's responsibility to have a social media presence. Because some of you, if you're still watching, will play a game and be angry about it and need to yell at a human being. And I think one of the executive producer's responsibilities is to protect his team. And part of protecting his team is providing that lightning rod. If you don't...
That's me. Look up, not down. What the fuck? Dead listening. I don't know, dude. I think you're crazy. I subbed to this guy, by the way, because I think he's crazy. Anyway, Mark Dark on Games. 10 out of 10. Bye.